Good morning and welcome back to the property. Today is the 30th of October 2025. It's roughly a quarter after 8 o'clock in the morning, quarter past 8 o'clock in the morning. And we are back at the property to do some chores, some tasks, tasks of which I've started yesterday. The main task will be to dig the holes to plant or replace the trees that withered this year, that were planted last autumn and this spring, and from some reason they withered. There are like 16 of them, and I started yesterday digging the holes. These are the holes. I've dug like, I don't know, 12 of them, and I still have to dig at least 4. Now here in these places the newly planted trees withered. Trees saplings because they were little, like these ones over here. This one took roots. Likewise this one. And not only for those trees or for those planting places I will dig, or I dug holes, but also for the Paulownias, which for some reason each year one stem grows and then it withers, and the next year it takes all over again. So these ones that I've dug out yesterday, in order for me to be able to dig the holes with the auger, were planted in 2017, so 2017, so it's like 8 years ago, and they haven't grown up that much. They're only sticks, and each year they will grow back and they will wither in the fall. So these are the ones, and for 7 years to look like this is pathetic. Yeah, I know, harsh word, but it is what it is. And since we are trying to establish a forest in 25 years, 24 to go, we will need to replace them with fast growing species of trees, or at least the ones that won't wither each year, because Paulownia, it is a fast growing species of trees, but due to the conditions they tend to wither if they do not have enough heat in the winter, or prior to the winter when the frost comes. So that's what we are doing right now, digging some holes, finishing digging the holes and cleaning the grass. As I said, I will try to cut the grass at least twice a year. So we cut the grass in June, and now it's end of October, start of November. And as you can see, I already started cutting some of the grass, but there is still a lot of it to be cut. And why we are doing this is because there are a lot of unwanted shrubs and bushes and so on, like these little saplings that will grow into bushes, and yeah, we don't want that on the property. We want it to be clean. And some other task that will be done later will be to water the trees. I know it's October, it's end of October, but we still have some water gathered in our IBC totes, and it's a pity for it to go to waste, especially since it has algae in it, and it is pretty benefit good to the soil to water with that kind of concoction. And as I said, given the fact that we are trying to establish a forest, we will need fast growing trees and species of trees. Oh, speaking of, this is another task that needs to be finished. I've started it a while ago when I brought some good topsoil, and I took the hay from above it and needs to be put back on top of the soil, like here, because it's good for the soil as compost. It's good for the soil as it retains moisture, and should be put back. Yeah, coming back to the main idea, since we are trying to establish a forest in 25 years, 24 to go as I said, we started this spring to mark like this with little flags to mark the places where small oak saplings grew. But these ones interfere with the process of cleaning the area with the brush cutter, and it takes a whole lot of time, more time, to go around them. So I said, at least for one big chunk of the property, I will ignore them and cut them down in order to go faster the job, because we already have some oaks planted. I planted them with my son, and they will grow because they are put on the planting spots, you know, this planting schema that you can see here. So yeah, tough decision. I will have to cut them down and mow them. Cut them down, they're not so big as to need to be cut down. So like here, you know, not even observing anymore. And that's all for today. So right now, cutting the grass and finish digging up the holes for the new wave of tree planting. That's all for now. Stick around. So now the time is 11:45 o'clock in the afternoon. The tasks that I said I will do for now are done. So the holes on the planting spots are dug, and the thing is, I just wanted to show you what I'm digging them with. So is this earth auger, which has 30 centimeters in diameter, with its two-stroke gas engine. This is the tool that I'm using for digging the holes, and I'm trying to dig them at 50 centimeters depth. You see, that's the depth at which, or the length of the auger. And what I'm cutting the grass with is this brush cutter. Both are, I don't know, China made in China. And this one has, as it says here, 43 cubic centimeters. Yes, so basically I think the other one is the same. And now let me show you what I did in terms of holes. So all the holes were dug on the planting spots, 16 of them, and the grass was cut from the surface or the area that I've planted to. There is still a little bit more of it to be cut. So on the right hand side everything is cut, and on the left hand side a few rows in between them the grass still needs to be cut, and on the upper part of the property above the turning loop. So as you can see, the holes are dug and they are turning out as perfectly cylindrical in shape. Here we will plant some, like this one, some saplings that are growing in between the rows, and yeah, we will need like 16 of them. And here, one thing worth mentioning, the type of trees, the species that I've planted are the ones that are spreading roots, and that was one of the main reasons which I've selected this type of species. And this year, for instance, this one was grown by itself from another root, and this one, again, this entire growth, 1 year growth, it was cut at the top. I don't know if a deer ate it or because of the winds. So like 1.5 meters of growth in 1 year. That is because it sprung from a parent tree, from this one, an altissima. And as I said, this is a good thing because that's the main objective for it to spread and develop by itself, not needed to be planted each year. Different trees. This one also, it grew right next to a planting, in between two planting spots, that one and this one, so it grew really nice. This one also grew from the roots, and not to talk about the black locust. The black locust, which is really fast spreading. So yeah, a good point, a really satisfying one to see that the trees are spreading by themselves and not needed to be planted. Here you can see how I cut the grass in between them, just to be everything clean and tidy. I still have to come and prune them. You can see that there are a lot of branches, and what I want to do is leave only one main trunk and cut the other branches. And as I said, all the grass has been cut up until above the turning loop. This is where the turning loop starts. And up until here, all the grass has been cut. I will have to cut it also here, from this point upwards until the end of the property. And if we are turning now downwards, a little bit in between the trees on the right hand side this time. So up until here, this area was all cut. Now I just have to cut this part on the right hand side, which are two more rows of trees not to be seen on the camera. That's all for now. I'll just have to come back in the afternoon and water them. Have a good one. Oh, and something that I forgot to mention, or to show you rather, is that all the hay has been put in between the Paulownia trees on the road above the topsoil that I've leaned in between, leveling a little bit the ditch. So yeah, task's done. Stick around.